Yeah, what's going on with y'all boys, man? CJ back with another video. So look, I got some more gameplay on my 3-and-D point. So in this video, one of the topics I want to cover is how to get open on a build that has no ball control and no finishing, like how I'm effective on a build like this. Because a lot of people might look and be like, man, how do you get your own shot? Like all you can do is rely on somebody to pass you the ball and catch and shoot. So I'm gonna just talk about that a little bit. Now yes, for the most part, it does require your teammates to pass you the ball. So if you're playing with randoms, it's gonna be tough if they ain't passing you the ball. But there's some things you can do to increase your chances of getting the ball and being open, like one, setting screens, moving around, stuff like that. Like usually I'll stand in the corners, right? I'm a spot up type of player on this build, so I'll go stand left corner, left wing, stand there for a second. My match was playing me too tight, I'll cut baseline, or I'll like come out to the top right of the wing, go to the opposite side of the wing, set off ball screen, stuff like that. And of course, like my player doesn't have strength and brick walls, so the screens aren't that effective, but they still work. So I'll come down the court, I'll wait. If I'm not open, or if my match is playing me too tight, I'll cut back door. Even though I can't lay it up or dunk or nothing, I'm still gonna make that cut. And who knows, maybe if I come out on the other side, I'm open. If not, I'm gonna set an off ball screen. So you really just gotta move around, space the floor correctly, and try to set your teammates some off ball screens. Because then when you set off ball screens, a lot of the people, like you're playing against randoms a lot of the time, and even when you're playing against people that know each other, when you set off ball screens, it causes a lot of confusion, especially if they're not communicating. So it's either gonna open up a bucket for your teammate or you. So when I'm playing on builds where I can't really create my own shot, that's what I'm doing. I'm standing there waiting for a catch and shoot, or I'm moving around trying to get open. Now there's a difference, right? Because if you're sitting there running everywhere, you're gonna the space is off, you're messing the space. And that's why I try to get to spots that are like empty on the court, you know? Like if I'm on the left corner and let's say somebody's in the right corner but the right wing's open, I'm gonna cut up to the right wing or try to set an off ball screen. And it's like the spacing is already bad enough sometimes, so if you cut and it's just messing it up even more, some of the games you just gotta suck it up and kind of sit in the corner or set a screen. Another thing you could do too, right? Let's say you're standing left corner and somebody's on the left wing, so instead of having to run all the way across the court, you could just come up to that left wing, set that dude to off ball screen. Now he can cut back door or cut corner or whatever, and that might open something up for you. So it's really just about like realizing what spots on the court are empty, getting to them empty spots or whatever, setting them screens, you know, just trying to do different things. There's things you can do to get yourself open without the ball in your hand. So there's that, and that's just for like tips when you're playing by yourself with the randoms where like you're most likely not going to get the ball. So those are some tips right there, just setting those off ball screens. Now another thing you can do too, right, is let's say you catch the ball, like usually like I'm always in the corner, right, or the left wing. So if I catch the ball, you can like jab fake one way and you're still able to hit step back shots, fadeaway shots like that. So even if you catch the ball and they're coming to close out super hard on you, or they're playing you super tight and you run to that corner, like this build has a pretty high speed, but even if you don't, you can still run and get those fades. So if someone's playing me super tight, I catch it, and if I'm running and I have that space, I'm gonna shoot a fade. So there's two moves I really like to go to when I catch the ball. Like first, I'm looking for a pass, right? If I catch the ball and my matchup is on me super tight, I'm looking for a pass. If I don't really see something there, or I feel like I can create my own shot, I'm gonna most of the time run to the corner or run to the wing and go for a fade. Now the corner shots are a lot more easier to time shooting fades like that, so I'm usually gonna run to the corner and shoot a fade, or I will run one direction and then do a hop step or a hop jumper back the other direction. That usually throws the defense off. So if I'm in the left wing and I go to sprint left corner real quick, he's gonna chase me to that corner, and I'm gonna hold the right trigger and pull the opposite direction to do a hop jumper. So like I said, I'm on the left wing, I'm running left corner, but then I do a hop jumper back to the right, and that usually creates enough space for me to get a shot off. Sometimes that's not there, I'm gonna pass the ball and just go back to the same things of setting screens and trying to get myself open. Now of course, you're probably gonna have a lot of games where your teammates don't pass you the ball. You might get frustrated because you're open and not passing the ball, but think about it like this, right? You could do one of two things. Either you keep playing that game and just keep sticking to your role and trying to help your team win, or you just leave. It's simple as that. There's never a reason you should just sit there in the game and just throw the game away out of spite because your teammates are playing terrible. Because what's that really doing? You're really sitting there wasting your time, wasting their time. You're not getting nothing for it. They're not getting nothing out of it. So really, it's just a big waste of time. So there's really no reason for you to sit there and throw a game because you're mad. That's honestly, in my opinion, that's some childish stuff. So if you really care about winning, like you trying to win games and stuff, you jump into a game. Also, I've said this before in another video, you may have heard this, but you can pretty much pick your teammates. You can pick who you want to play with basically, and even if it is with randoms, because right when you go into that pregame lobby, you can see everybody's overall, you can see everybody's their level, you can see like their plate or whatever, whether it's gold, silver, bronze, Hall of Fame, whatever. So what I do normally is when I go in, I look at their plates, I look at their overall, like their level, just check stuff like that, and you kind of get a feel if they're going to be a good team or not. So if you jump in a lobby as someone with a low overall or a bunch of like bronze plates or whatever, back out if you want to. You can pretty much pick your own team, and that's what I do. When I'm playing completely by myself, I'll back out until I get a team where I feel like, all right, this is a pretty solid team. And by doing that, you're not losing nothing because the game hasn't even started yet. You're doing this all in the pre-game lobby before the game even starts. So you pretty much scout out your team real quick and pick who you want to play with. So that's some things you can do right there. Load into a lobby, get a team you're comfortable with, you know, work on proper spacing like I do. When I'm playing with randoms, I literally same thing. It's like clockwork. I either go to my corner, my left wing, because I'm a spot up type of player. So that's what I'm gonna do. If I'm trying to get myself open, I'm gonna set off ball screens, I'm gonna move around. And then on top of that, it's like even if I'm not in the game on offense, and that's why I like these two-way builds, because even if I'm not in the game on offense, I can still play defense. I can still have an impact on the game, which might also lead to me getting open on a fast break or something. So just to recap some things: 1, you could pick your team. 2, when you're playing off ball, just get into those empty spots on the court. Also trying to set your teammates up for an open bucket and yourself at the same time by setting those off ball screens. Really, just be a good teammate. There's never a reason for you to sit here and sell and throw the game, because like I said, it's wasting your time, it's wasting everybody else's time. So as an off ball player, as a catch and shoot spot up type of player, you want to get to that corner, get to the wing. You can sometimes cut to the other side of the court if it's open, or set an off ball screen, get your team open, stuff like that. Another tip that could definitely help you win games, and this one's a little tricky playing with randoms, because if you can't communicate with them, then it's an issue. But let's say you got a random, right, and he got an AI on him, or you got an AI on you. Go to game chat and tell him, look, stand on the hash, you're gonna pass him the ball, tell him shoot every time, and he's gonna be wide open because the AI doesn't contest your shot. So you can literally catch and shoot just like that right there. That's what I was telling my teammate right here, because he had his mic in. So I put my mic in, I'm like, look, they're not gonna play defense on you, so I'm gonna pass you the ball, just catch it and shoot it. So if you got a teammate that you can communicate with, tell him that, whether it's you that got the AI on you or him, tell him stand on the hash, or you stand, not the hash, but like the wing, you stand on the wing, or he stands on the wing, and you just catch and shoot. So that is another little tip right there that will help you win games. If you have a teammate or you that has an AI on them, go to game chat, see if they got a mic, try to communicate with them and tell them just catch and shoot the ball, or pass it to you, you catch and shoot. Obviously if they ain't like that, if they can't time their shot, then that's tough, but it's just another option to throw out there if you do realize that you or a teammate has an AI. That's one thing you can do. But just to go over everything one last time for y'all, when you're playing with the build that can't dribble the ball, can't finish, and you need somebody to pass you the ball, some ways to get open: stand in your corner, your left wing, set off ball screens, move around. Obviously don't try not to clog up the lanes too much. Try not to, you know, mess up the spacing too much. Try to have good spacing, because you got to keep in mind a lot of other people are going to be running around the court, so sometimes it is tough. So if you find that when you're cutting there's just too much traffic, too much stuff going on, then just set off ball screens. You can literally just go from the left corner straight up to the left wing, set a screen, little simple things like that early on. Maybe if nobody's setting on ball screens, you can come and set an on ball screen or two. Those are just a few things you can do to try to get yourself open. And one thing you have to accept is that not every game you're gonna get a lot of shots. There's games where I only get three shots, 5 shots. So some games you are not gonna get that many shots, and you just have to accept that. If you with a good team, they playing good, they scoring, just be okay with that. And that's why I went with a two-way type of player, because if I'm not getting my shots, I'm still having an impact on defense, I'm still having fun. So just keep that in mind. You could have a good team, but you might not get a lot of looks, or maybe they're just missing you. But if your team is hooping, just be okay with that, because at the end of the game, you still gonna get your XP, you still gonna get your little badge grade up and stuff like that. You're gonna get a lot of stuff for that, for winning games. That's important. It's important to win games. If you have a nice game, you lose, you really ain't getting much from that. Your teammate grade ain't going up or nothing like that. So just accept that some games you're not gonna get them shots. But alright y'all, that's the end of the video. I hope y'all enjoyed this one, and don't forget to like and subscribe.